Today we're going to be working on a 2021 Tesla Model Y in Shasta White Pearl. Shasta White is a Tricoat color, meaning you have a base color. The base is white on this car, a pearl midcoat. The midcoat is clear, but it has some pearl in it, and a clear coat. That's how you achieve that finish. The clear coat is the last step. On this car today, we're going to touch up the front bumper, and there's a little bit of curb rash on one of the wheels. We're going to touch that up as well. So we've identified a small stone chip here on the front bumper of the Model Y. We're going to fix that one up. We're going to start with our base coat, which you will see is white. I'm going to just clean it once with the wax and grease remover. Let that dry for a moment. The tip of the touch-up pen is very fine, so I'm really just making the smallest dot and nothing additional. Just going to let that dry. Probably do one more coat and then we'll move to the mid coat. Okay, now we're going to apply the mid coat. The mid coat for Shasta White is a pearl. It's going to look mostly clear, but it does contain that pearl essence that you see on the rest of the car. So you do it just like you applied the base coat, just dab it on that one little spot and let it dry, and we'll move to the clear coat. Okay, final step here. We only did one coat of base and one coat of mid coat for this tiny little speck. We didn't want too much paint getting on it, and we're just going to do one coat of clear coat as well. If your scratch is deeper or you need to do more, you may need to add 2 to 3 coats of base or mid coat. In this case, we're using one for each. That's it. We'll let that dry. Ready to be polished or waxed in 24 hours. This project involved a Tricoat color. We had a touch-up pen of the base, a touch-up pen of the mid-coat, and the clear coat. We also used the wax and grease remover. We're going to focus on this area now. This looks like some debris that was on the road, and it somehow or other, maybe it flung up. It created some scuffing. So the procedure is the same. You have a base coat, we're going to apply that first. We're not going to put primer on in this case because it's not down to the bare substrate. And we're going to use the brush because it's a little bit of a bigger area, so we want a little more coverage. A lot of times you can polish these types of scratches out, but we've already done that. This is actually scratched. First coat is applied. We're going to let that dry. Then we'll add one more coat of base color. All right, so now we've already applied 2 coats of the base color, which is the white. Now we're going to apply a coat of the mid coat, which is this translucent pearly effect color. And this is what will really make it match. Again, being waterborne paint, it's going to make it look kind of bright in the beginning. Might not look quite right, but as it dries, the color comes right in. We'll probably end up doing 2 coats of this as well before we apply the clear coat. We'll assess after this first one dries. Okay, we've applied 2 coats of the pearl mid coat. Now we're going to apply a coat of clear. We'll let that dry for a few minutes and then apply one more and we're done. For this damage, we used a touch-up brush of a Tricoat with the base color, the mid coat, and the clear coat. We also used the wax and grease remover and the polishing compound. Okay, now we're going to focus on a very common type of damage here, just some curb rash. This happens a lot in the city. We do have all the Tesla wheel colors. We verified it. We've matched them all, including both colors on the hubcap. In this case, because the wheel got scraped and the hubcap got scraped a little bit, I'm going to pop the hubcap off because it's a very simple process, work on that separately, and then we're just going to lightly touch up this wheel. Although it is scraped up, in this case we're not going to go too deep with this. There's various stages of repair that can be done, but we're just going to put some silver paint on there, clear coat it, and see how it looks. Okay, I've popped the hubcap off. Tesla hubcaps come off very easily. Just pull on them. Be gentle so it doesn't break, but it just pops off. So I'm going to touch up the wheel first. Okay, so in this case, we're just going to clean this scratch out. There are more involved repairs you can do, but that's going to be a separate video. This one is going to be just a quick and easy repair. This is a gloss wheel, so we'll be using the gloss clear. We do have all the matte finish Tesla colors as well. Silvers tend to look a little bit blue before they dry, but as it dries, it will turn very silver. All right, we'll let that dry, add another coat, and then we'll clear coat it. Okay, we're ready to apply the clear coat. This wheel is a glossy color. Like I mentioned, we do have all the appropriate matte finishes for any Tesla wheel, and if you order from us, you'll get the correct clear coat for your project. Most of them are glossy, aside from the larger matte black wheel. We'll let that dry. I'll add one more coat of clear, then we'll move on to the hubcap. Okay, so we finished up the second coat of clear coat. It looks very nice. If you look closely, you can still see the scratches. This isn't a perfect job. This is not what we're trying to do here. From just a few feet back though, you did not notice anymore, and it looks good. After taking the hubcap off, we took a look and realized that the scratches are really tiny here. So we're going to use the pen side. This is really just preference. You may not even need to do this because these scratches are very tiny, but in the spirit of making it look as good as we can, we're going to touch these up too. Probably just with this, just one coat, let it dry, and then we'll put a little clear on. And we're going to go with one coat of clear to protect this. Give it the gloss. We'll let it dry a few minutes and then put the hubcap back on the car. Okay, now we're going to snap the hubcap back on. Little tip, make sure you align this recess with the valve stem. Otherwise it will not snap on properly. And be careful when you're putting it on so that you don't fold over any of the clips in the back. But mostly it just snaps on. And that's it. We put the hubcap back on. If you look closely, you can still see some of where the damage was. But now there's no color, it's just the silver, the correct color of the wheel. The hubcap looks good. This is a quick repair. You can do this in 20 or 30 minutes in your driveway. If you want to take more time, there are other levels of repair that can be done. But if you stand a few feet back, you're never going to notice this. And it protects the wheel from corrosion. For the wheel and hubcap repair, we use the combo applicator of color and a combo applicator of Clearcoat. We also use a wax and grease remover.